On today's show, we delve into another trade rumor. That is right, a certain veteran shooting guard could be had via trade. The question is, will the Sixers inquire about him? And I guess the bigger question is, well, should they? We will break it all down. Let's go.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Like always, if you do enjoy this content, feel free to leave a like. It really helps out the channel. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming content. We will be breaking everything down as we head into draft week. You know we have you covered, but today we are back discussing some more NBA trade rumors. That is right. Big bomb coming out yesterday, and it's about time once again. I feel like it's deja vu, man. A report coming from Legion Hoops on Twitter. The Houston Rockets are seeking a first-round pick in exchange for veteran shooter Eric Gordon. Now, when I saw this, man, my first initial thoughts is, well, we've seen this story before, right? I feel like Eric Gordon has been mocked in a trade for about 2 years now. And when you think about Eric Gordon, a 33-year-old veteran shooting guard who's going to be 34, 2 years left on his deal, $19.5 million this coming year, and then $20.9 million the following year, you think, okay, well, somebody should go out and get him. The problem is the Houston Rockets have held on to this guy, right? Even last year, we heard about him, Christian Wood. Well, a couple days ago, the Houston Rockets just went and finally traded Christian Wood to the Dallas Mavericks. In exchange, they got a bunch of, holdover parts and guys that they're probably going to get rid of, right? But they did get another draft pick, and now they have 3 first-round draft picks. And when you look at the Houston Rockets and all the young talent they have, you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to go full-in young talent and build from within the draft. And, I mean, I can't really blame them in terms of where they're at as a franchise. So now Christian Wood is gone, and then you have Eric Gordon, right? Another part that they're just going to try to sell off to get more draft compensation for. And as it said, a first rounder is what they're looking for. Well, Eric Gordon hasn't necessarily been healthy over the last couple years. He has missed a lot of games. I will argue, though, that he's probably been unmotivated, right? Watching John Wall sit out and watching some of these young guys take some of the minutes. I mean, really, he hasn't had much to play for. He was on those contending Rockets teams, and then he's essentially, finding himself in a whole rebuild. So it's like, what do you do? And they wouldn't trade him. So anyway, here's Eric Gordon in the offseason. And then an article comes out detailing a little more into this report. It says the Rockets are seeking a first-round pick in exchange for Eric Gordon. Sources told Jake Fischer of Bleacher Report. The Rockets recently traded Christian Wood for Boban Marjanovic, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris, and the number 26 pick in the upcoming draft. The Rockets now hold the number 3, 17, and 26 picks in the draft. Eric Gordon averaged 13.4 points and 2.7 assists for the Rockets last season. He did not play a lot of games, but as Eric Gordon, is a career 37% shooter from deep. He shot above 41% last year. His averages have dipped over the years, but overall, Eric Gordon can still play. He's still a guy that can put it on the floor. We remember Eric Gordon back in the day, especially on that contending Rockets team. I believe he was a 6th man of the year at one point. Eric Gordon is a guy that Daryl Morey loves. And honestly, that was my main thought as well. This has Daryl Morey written all over it. And we've heard the rumors before. We've heard the whispers. In fact, I recall a couple people saying that Eric Gordon should have been traded to a contender at the deadline. He was not. So teams are really going to be chirping in and trying to see what they can get for Eric Gordon. Now, the Houston Rockets essentially got rid of Christian Wood for a late first-round pick, even though, a lot of people don't think the draft's going to be too heavy at the back end there in the first round, and a bunch of just parts that they can spare, right? So what is it going to take to get Eric Gordon? Will it take a first-round pick? I don't know the answer to that question. I believe Daryl Morey will inquire about this trade. I think Eric Gordon would be an immediate upgrade of an asset off the bench. We constantly talk about the guys on this bench who are, a little bit afraid sometimes really to take the reins. We don't really have that dominant guard, that dominant scorer that can come off the bench. Adding a guy like Eric Gordon, I get it, would be a little bit fearful for a guy that gets injured. and is costing you $18 to $20 million. Now, maybe even start him, but I would actually prefer to bring him off the bench. I think he would be an instant spark, a vet, a leader, a guy, that can bring that toughness and also knock down shots. Eric Gordon is a guy I know can get us 10 off the bench a game. And even if he's not playing well on a certain given night, Eric Gordon, I've seen this guy shoot off a bum leg before. Like, he is not going to hesitate. He will at least try to make himself involved in the game, getting his teammates open, being a vocal leader on the court. And where the Houston Rockets sit at this point, just in full rebuild, they got to get rid of Eric Gordon now. They already got rid of Christian Wood. Now it's time to dispose of Eric Gordon. And I could just see Daryl Morey inquiring on this. I think he should. Bring back a guy that he once signed in free agency for $75 million. And I just think it makes a lot of sense. And then also you have the pairing of James Harden and Eric Gordon, right? Those two played together. They have some mutual respect, a little bond there. They were going deep on those Mike D'Antoni teams. So, of course, there will probably be, a lot of contenders looking for a guy like Eric Gordon. But when it comes to the Sixers now, you think about where we're at with this whole situation, right? We've been talking about different trades. Could you potentially structure a Tobias Harris deal for Eric Gordon? The Rockets just acquired some of these pieces, some of these salary fillers. And, the Sixers could be looking to shop Tobias Harris. And really, if you're looking to trade Tobias Harris, a potential team that could be willing to take on that contract is a team like the Houston Rockets or a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? One of those teams that has a lot of young draft assets, would, maybe be willing to take on a contract like that for a year or two and then eventually flip them for more assets. We saw it with the Al Horford thing. The Rockets would actually be a preferred destination if you had that type of strategy. And maybe they would even play Tobias a little bit, right? Try to up his trade value, maybe like they tried to do with John Wall, and then, that just didn't work out. So he's been sitting on the bench. The problem is he's making, $45+ million. Tobias is going to be making $76 million over the next 2 years. So the Rockets GM would definitely have some work cut out for him. But, as opposed to a contender taking on that contract, I could see a team like the Rockets potentially willing to do that. That would also create some flexibility for the Sixers, because if Eric Gordon does not work out over the next 2 years, obviously, you're paying him a lot less. And then also, you would have some flexibility to go out and look for other pieces. But overall, I do think Eric Gordon, could come in off the bench and give us 15, 20 minutes at least per night. I think he would knock down some shots. He would instantly be an upgrade. In terms of what we have, you could even start him if you wanted to, but I would, like I said, prefer to bring him off the bench so you're not putting that much wear and tear on his body. The ultimate reunion, I could definitely see Daryl Morey calling them up. And to the first point about the draft pick, would you trade the 23rd overall pick for Eric Gordon? I don't know if I would. I would inquire about it. I would definitely consider it. Now, would I do it is another question. I think Daryl Morey would do it. I think Daryl Morey, who we've heard, as of late, is trying to go out and get a veteran piece off the bench. I think he would definitely do it for Eric Gordon. And the only thing is, when you think about drafting a young guy in the 20s, are we going to play that guy, right? Are we going to play him, or are we going to wait 2 years based on the philosophy of Doc Rivers? So, there are definitely some exciting prospects. I'm not against going and drafting a player, not at all. But one of the main reasons why I haven't really been doing too much draft coverage outside the fact that we only have one draft pick is that I honestly feel that we're going to trade the draft pick. If you want me to be honest, to give my prediction, there's some prospects I like. I just feel that the Sixers team is looking to kind of run it back with somewhat of the same core, but make a trade for Tobias Harris, upgrade, get some wings in here, get some shooters, and get some more flexibility going forward for the future. So if I had to predict, the Sixers are going to make a trade this offseason. Could it be Eric Gordon? I think he'd be a solid vet for the bench if he can stay healthy. I don't know if I'd give up the 23rd pick. Maybe I would, look forward to next year. We have a couple picks in the second round. The following year after that, you have different picks you can maneuver with. I don't know what the Rockets can demand for Eric Gordon, given the fact he hasn't played much over the last couple years. But at the end of the day, he's still a guy that can average 10 to 15 off the bench, knock down shots. He'd be an immediate upgrade, and you just know what you're getting with Eric Gordon. And I think he's a Daryl Morey guy. So those are my quick thoughts summed up on it. Would you trade the number 23 pick for Eric Gordon. I would consider it. I would. And we'll see if the Sixers get on in terms of that Eric Gordon conversation. But give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect.